Hey everybody, it's HaloMan27 and I am back for part 7, the final part of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World Video Game. As you can see right off the start, I show this store, and basically if you collect a lot of money, you can pay off Scott's late fees, and then you get really good items for not very much money, which is extremely useful. And actually, the mystical head, which I'm buying a bunch of right now, is lives. So very soon, or at least I thought I was buying a bunch of it. Maybe I'm just not paying any attention. But anyway, there's also something that gets you a crap ton of stats. And yeah, this store is super useful if you can pay it off, but it's really kind of not worth it because I'm pretty sure it costs just as much to pay it off as just buying all the stuff. Right here, we actually have an optional boss in the game. Every time you defeat an Evil X, there's a % chance of Mr. Chow spawning. And when he does spawn, you can fight him, and when you beat him, you actually unlock him as a summon. So I don't know if I really mentioned it earlier. I think I did in episode 1. If you push left bumper on the game, or on the Xbox 360 controller, you will call in Knives Chow, and this is actually her dad. And for characters like Scott, he is a million times better than Knives. Some other characters than Knives summons are really good, but he is like extremely powerful, and it's super useful to get him. So I would highly recommend doing that. But actually, the easiest way to get him is to go into the second half of Lucas Lee's level and fight Lucas Lee a bunch of times. Even though I hate that boss so much, if you have high stats, he's really easy. But obviously, as you can see, area clear, and I did get Mr. Chow just now. And now, I will be heading over to... I can't remember what the club is called, but it's somewhere down Chaos Theater. How could I not remember that? This is the home of that man right there, Gideon Graves. Like all the other X's, Gideon is in fact connected to the number 7 in some way. And actually, Gideon has a bunch of crap about him. Yeah. He actually is the one that formed the League of Evil X's by making a drunken post on Craigslist, not Facebook. That's what Mr. Chow does. He just owns everybody. Just straight up. Yeah. In the comic, he's actually a lot more, like, terrible than he is in, say, the movie and the game. In the movie, well, the game is more related to the comic than the movie, so since there's no talking, there isn't really as much story. But in the movie, they took out, like, a bunch of different things about him that were really important. Like, there's this thing called the glow that goes on during the series, and it's really complicated, and he basically invented it, and it's some weird thing that like traps you within your own mind or something like that. I can't remember exactly how it works, but he shoots pew pew glow lasers, and it's crazy, and he's extremely evil. So basically, how he refers to the number 7, G, the first letter of his name, or all 3 of his names, first, middle, and last, Gideon Gordon Graves. G is the 7th letter of the alphabet. He has 7 ex-girlfriends in the movie, or not the movie, in the comic book. He is 31 years old, making him older than Ramona and Scott by 7 years. Every hit against him gets you 700 points. He gets times 7 stats when he summons the Pixel Katana in the movie. And during the final fight in the movie, he suffers a blow from Knives, causing him to swallow his gum, which he declares will stay in his digestive tract for 7 years. And when he's defeated, he gives a reward of $7,777,777. So 7,777,777, which is 7 sevens. Actually, funny thing about his name, Gideon Gordon Graves. Gideon is 6 letters, Gordon is 6 letters, and Graves is 6 letters. So he forms the number 666 with his name because he's the devil. No, but yeah, That's some kind of like fun facts about Gideon. He is actually one of the people I thought they like got a perfect actor for him. Maybe I'm retarded, but I thought he looked very suited to the part. And yeah, I loved the movie. Obviously, I've said that so many times. Gideon, also known as G-Man, who is not the Gary's Mod guy, or the G-Man. Don't know. I forget the other name. There's like 3 names for him, and I can't remember them. I thought I had 15 lives. How do I only have 5? Maybe I'm retarded. Maybe I only bought 5. Maybe I just can't see. Whatever. Oh look, it's Knives. And she totally owned everyone. That was awesome, but I'm sure at that time I was hoping for Mr. Chow, because he's better. But that's okay. Come down here, throw a bat at a wall, and enter the next room. Because that's what... Just do it. Then back there you can see Gideon turn into Super Gideon Graves. And actually some of his moves are super awesome. Or at least his walk that you see him doing has actually been titled Haters Gonna Hate. And I think that's awesome. Because haters gonna hate. I hate when he goes invincible. It's really inconvenient. But I do like how every character appears here. All of the people that you can see standing around in the back, which 90% of which are from the comic, except for like that weird spiky blue-haired guy. I still have no idea who he is. Like, no idea. But basically all of these people are from the comic in some fashion. And I love how they are all here. But then after we critical hit! 150, 180. That was ridiculous. And meteor. That freaking sucked. That was dang. Oh yeah. Epic punch. That's the secret move. Oh, and that's the move I got for becoming level 18, which I think I missed out of the video, unfortunately, because oh, countered and owned, because I spent a lot of time grinding Lucas Lee to get Mr. Chow to appear. And now he sucks us into his heart, into a subspace highway, and there's some weird eyes at the back that seem like they were laughing at us, and now they're like, whoa. Huh? And that is all the sound effects I will be doing for the eyes. This part of the wow. Usually I'm really good at this part, but it's one of those things that you do bad as soon as you hit the record button. Because I usually finish this area in like 6.5 seconds and never fall off. But obviously I just fell off there. If you see in that cloud, that sword is the power of love, which is actually completely different in the movie than it is in the game. In the movie than it is in the comic. In the comic, Scott gets it when he fights Roxy. In the movie, Scott gets it right before he fights Gideon, but then he loses, and then after that he fights Gideon with the power of self-respect. The power of self-respect is not in the comic. Scott gets the power of love against Roxy, and then later he ends up losing it. I can't remember how at this moment. And then he eventually beats Gideon with Ramona also being there. Ramona gets the power of love, and Scott gets the power of understanding. So, the power of self punched in the noggin, and then I died. This boss gave me way more trouble than usual. Usually, I just pick up the sword and win without him hitting me once. Kind of like that, except less derp, because I died. But usually I just totally own him, and this time I just did not, and it was extremely unfortunate. And then we are taken to the third part of this stage, or at least we would be. Pleasure Palace, also known as the Chaos Theater. But then we go into the Techno Base, which is not the Chaos Theater, and this is the most trusty wrench ever. Just pick it up and start whacking. It's amazing! But, yeah, this wrench is actually really useful considering it's a free weapon, and weapons are really good. Especially, well, weapons are really good after you get the upgraded weapon thing at like level something, which I can't actually remember what level it is. But eventually you get it, and then you start hitting 3 times as fast, which I know I mentioned a long time ago, but don't think I ever realized if I got it, and now I have it, so I'm pointing it out. Treadmill. Don't run into the pit. These things are annoying. Like, so much annoy. That's another attack that I got, where I did like the air slam thing onto his face. I don't know if I pointed that out either, which apparently I'm really bad at what I do, but that's okay. And my dog is jingling right past me because he's following my sister. And I'm glowing now! But then I lost that immediately. That's extremely disappointing to see. I've lost a little faith in my ability to play games. But then I recovered it when I realized... Crap. Countered! That can be my redemption. I love the counter in this game. If you hit the block button at the right time, you'll counter. And Scott's counter is super cool. And I love it so much. But I never really try for it because I barely ever block ever in anything. Well, that's not true. In this game I block a lot. How did I not get lasered? That didn't make any sense. And now there's turrets! But first I must throw things! And critical hit! Oh, there's the turrets. They're extremely annoying. And here's another treadmill. That is how smart it goes. Wow. Okay. There's a lot of turrets. Okay, this part is also annoying because there's another one of these things, there's a bunch of these things, and there's lasers, which I'm sure you realized before I told you it was there, but Knives' dad is overpowered. And if you see in the back, there's like weird baby things, and then there's like weird girl things, and then you come over here and find out, oh look, I don't know if everyone knows this, but these things are actually supposed to be like clones of Ramona. That is Knives' mom. You have a very, very low chance of summoning her when you use the Mr. Chow summon, and I just got it twice. That is kind of ridiculous. And then I got Knives, so apparently I was having really bad luck because I wanted Knives' dad, which still has not appeared. There he is, and now he can kill the Ramona clones, because those are clones of Ramona. And then there's a weird flying thing, and it's just there for approximately no reason. But at this point, I think I have all my stats maxed, so, like, stuff is pretty wimpy. But this level's extremely long. So, there's actually a store where you can buy stuff from a robot, which is extremely useful. I always buy energy drinks because they give you that like glowy effect. They make it so you move super fast and can combo, which is extremely useful, except I don't know if it actually works on Gideon. But then again, I don't know if I don't, whatever. We'll find out when I get there. Because, spoilers, I'm getting close to the end of the level. No, but, wow, I'm not doing so hot with those summons. Or at least I wasn't. Because this was recorded so long ago, as I said. I basically recorded all of these videos, like, in one day, a long time ago. Actually, except for part 7. Part 7 happened, like, several weeks afterwards. And through here, this magic swirly purple door. That was a Josh Jepson reference. But through this purple door, we have a black room. And in this black room, we have a chessboard of doom. No, but Gideon Graves. Powers unknown. I did not actually read off any of the crap that the other boss's titles said. But, oh well. Gideon has his extremely epic, like, 2-bit sword, which is called something, and I can't remember what it's called. But I think it's called the Pixel Sword. I think it's called the Pixel Sword. Is it the Pixel Sword? I need to find out. Either way, he has the extremely epic sword I am calling the Pixel Sword, and it's super cool. Oh, Pixel Katana. In the movie and the game, it is called the Pixel Katana. Actually, in the comic book, he does it different. He actually does not. Okay, Scott loses the power of love because Gideon just grabs into his chest and pulls it out of him, which is pretty ridiculous. And then Gideon actually gets a sword from okay, if you still remember who Envy Adams is, she's Scott's ex-girlfriend. She was in chapter 3 and level 3, book 3, all that. She's actually performing at the Chaos Theater, or at least she's planning to. And Gideon has a sword built into the back of her dress, so he takes out the sword and reveals a skimpier dress. That's how it goes in the comic. But that's how he gets his sword to fight Scott and eventually Ramona with. I don't know if actually Ramona comes out before that, I think. But yeah, it's a super good set of comics, and I highly recommend reading it. And I got an achievement for getting the girl, which the ending in this game. Actually, I'll take a brief moment to talk about the ending of the comic, the game, and the movie. The ending of this game does not really fit, in my opinion. You guys will obviously see it in a second, then I'll get back to it. The ending in the books, Scott obviously ends up going with Ramona again. Epic punch! KO! They get back together and then they go off and journey together and exist together. In the movie, it also ends similar to the comic, where Scott and Ramona end up getting back together and going off together. But originally, the movie was supposed to end with Scott getting together with Knives, and had that happened, I would have disliked the movie, or I would have liked the movie much less than I did. I'm very glad they changed it, and well, it still has not reached the part in the game that actually shows the ending. But I like the underpants flag, and I like how they actually have the circle on the ground because it's a level. How did Scott travel so far? Well, I guess Subspace Highway, but it appeared, and so Scott was saddened by Ramona's departure, but only for a little while. Soon he was dating Knives, Kim, and Envy all at once. He was the happiest guy in the world. Or was he? Yeah, this ending, I don't really like it. It's not how it should be, in my opinion. I think he should have just done the same thing as in the comic and the movie, and just thrown him back together with Ramona at the end, because that's the point of this whole adventure. It just doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, here's actually a little bit of ending that shows all the enemy names, basically, and all the character, maybe not the enemy names, but it shows all the character names and stuff like that. There is Ramona, the best character in this game, as I'm sure, bleep, Julie, bleep. I love that, because reference to the fact that she swears, and instead of swearing, it just goes bleep. But yeah, Scott Pilgrim, rating awesome. Derp. Okay, this right here, no one will understand unless you've read the comic. This is one point where Kim and Knives get really drunk and they kiss each other, and it's hilarious. And Scott sees it, and he's totally disturbed. And it was so funny. Well, the whole comic was amazing. I highly recommend reading it if you have not. Knives Chow. Derp. Okay, check it out. This is about to be He-Man's strength. Hooah. That's Wallace, Scott's gay roommate. He's the gayest and roommatest of all Scott's friends. Okay, it's like I'm retarded. I thought I was saying something 2 minutes ago, and I just kind of forgot what it was. I'm pretty sure it was something to do with someone doing something. Ramona's the best character. Don't know what else. But anyway, like I've said a bunch of times, this was all filmed or this was all recorded a long time ago, except for the commentary, which I'm obviously doing now, several months later. And it was really kind of a short Let's Play. Only lasted a week. Probably going to be uploaded Sunday to Saturday, starting on February 19th, not January. So, yeah, I enjoyed playing this game. I've beaten it many, many times, actually. I've probably played through this game like 8 times or something like that, and I need to finish Nega Scott as my last character that I need to finish, and then I will be completely done playing this game for all of ever. Which, I've crashing the boys. They were actually a lot more important in the comic than they were in the movie. In the movie, they were just kind of there, and then they got blown up by Matthew Patel. But, anywho, like I was saying, I had fun playing this. I had fun making this. I hope you guys all enjoyed. I guess I still have a minute left before the video is over. These credits that are displaying all the characters, they are actually just like barely any of the credits. Once it hits like 22 minutes and 10 seconds of the video, I actually had to cut out like 10 minutes of credits because talking over credits would be so difficult. Like for 10 minutes with absolutely nothing going on. But for everyone's sake, I just cut those out. I still thank everyone who made this game for making this game. It's super amazing. I would recommend playing it. The order probably goes, the comic is better than the movie, is better than the game, but the game is still really fun. If you play it co-op, it can be super entertaining. And it appears now, at this point, the video is kind of coming to a close. Gideon Graves, lost in the void. The door is over there. So, this has been Scott Pilgrim vs. World. I am HaloMan27. Soon I will do a very awkwardly made cut to a different picture because this is the last of this kind of credits, and then it tries to fade out, but BAM! Thank you for watching. I am HaloMan27. Goodbye, everybody.